Hey guys, welcome back. Remember these kind of three-dimensional landscapes that we did? You might be wondering, Mr. Penn, we can't do 3 dimensions in Photoshop. You're right. We're just gonna do another landscape. And now you might be thinking, didn't we already do a Photoshop landscape? Yes, we did. You are correct. But there are different things I want to show you today. We're not going to do it the exact same way. So pay attention because we're going to do our last Photoshop landscape like this. So for this landscape, we are going to do a day and a night one. All you have to do is pick one. Do you want a day one or a night one? I'm going to show you both. Obviously, we go to Adobe Photoshop, turn it on. New file. I want this one to be 12 inches by 12 inches, resolution 150 pixels per inch, RGB color, create. The first thing I'm going to want to do is start off with the sky. The last few assignments I have showed you the gradient tool. Well, the brush tool works just as well. What I can do, since I want a sunset, I'm going to start with the brightest color. I'll go with yellow. Paint bucket, fill. The gradient tool works with 2 colors, but sometimes you might want a gradient that's 3 colors or 4 colors. What I'm going to do is get a brush. I'm going to make sure that it's super soft and super big. Okay, 2100. If I just drag this across the top, look at that nice gradient from yellow to orange. I want a darker red, so let me come up here, shrink that. So now it fades from yellow to orange to red. I could even go a little bit darker maybe, with a smaller brush across the top. That looks nice. Okay, that's going to be my sunset. And that is obviously in the background layer, which I can go ahead and rename sky. Next, I want to make a sun. Let me call this layer sun. And I think I can do this. Eyedropper that yellow, make it brighter. And just like when we did neon signs, I'm going to grab a pencil tool. I'm going to make a really big brush right here, just like that. And I think I want to go to Filter, Blur, Gaussian Blur. That's pretty good. And then I will get my yellow, make a new layer, yellow, Filter, Blur. I might blur that again. All right, I'm liking all of this. Merge down, and there's our sun. Clouds. I want to make these clouds in a new layer. It really doesn't matter if they are in the middle or on the ground, because you can always move them. But one thing I have not talked to you about is brush opacity, how much you can see through on the brush. So if I come up here to opacity, let me show you the difference. Let's start with a yellow cloud. It's yellow and it's soft. Here we go. This is yellow at 100%. You can see it right here. If I make this 50%, that is half as intense as this one that was at 100%. But this is neat because now I can add more to that and more to that. Every time I add more, I'm adding to the opacity of it. Let me throw this educational layer away. Let me make a new layer. I'm going to keep my brush at 50%, and I'm just going to scribble a cloud right here, make it smaller, scribble more right here. I could even get some whites, make it 15% with the white, and then keep adding to it. That really makes this cloud a whole lot fluffier, like that. If you've taken any Earth Space Science class, you know that clouds come in a variety of styles, which is why I always tell kids there's no way to mess up a cloud. I'm going to name this layer Cloud. I'm going to turn my sun back on. My cloud is in front of the sun. And what I'm going to do now, this would have saved you time on your last landscape. I can copy it and move it around. Here's another copy right here. Now, honestly, should these clouds all be the same? No. I can vary them up a little bit. Transform, flip horizontal. Oh, completely different cloud. This guy right here, edit, transform, scale. Hold my finger on the shift. I can squish him together like that. So those clouds look a little bit different. I'm going to turn these eyeballs off. I don't want to see my sun or my sky layer. I'm going to merge my cloud layers together. And now we've got a cloud. All right, the mountains. Mountains. I will go to my polygon lasso tool and I will just click a mountainscape like that. Let's make these purpley purple, but also a purple gray. Fill. Another brush I want to use, maybe it's under the pencil brushes. If I come down here, we did a dry brush before. We used a charcoal. Dry media brushes. Charcoal. Pastel Palooza. I think I can flatten it also. If I grab a darker color, maybe I want to experiment in this layer. I'm going to come up here and make a new layer. And with this brush, this pastel brush, I'm going to add some shadows to my mountain. Lots of clicking. It's neat. Every time you click it, it changes directions like a real artist is holding it. That's in one layer. I think I like that. In another layer, in a new layer, I might add some of these yellow highlights to one side of my mountains. And if you think that's coming on strong, I can change the opacity. I think those look pretty good. I think I want to turn these eyeballs off and merge visible, and there's my mountains. In the mountains layer, I want to go to filter, blur, Gaussian blur. These look pretty flat, so maybe give them, I don't know, 2% pixel blur, like that. I'm going to come down here, grab a green, and we need a horizon line. So how about I use a brush, a soft brush, general brushes, that's pretty good. Oh, it's set at 15%. Got to get that back to 100. In a new layer, I'm going to write horizon line. And, oh, look at that. That's still very soft. I'm going to hit Control Z. I want to make this brush a little bit harder. 48%. Yeah, that's good. Hold down Shift. Draw across the bottom. There is my horizon line. Do I want to change the color of this layer? Maybe a little bit. I think I like that. That's good. Now a line of pine trees for a forest. I'm thinking right now the easiest thing to do would be to go to Google and type in pine tree silhouette. There she is. Ooh, lots of choices. Oh my gosh. That's not bad. Edit, copy. Edit, paste. We had to do this last week, and it's okay. Edit, transform, scale. I want to drag this a little bit outside my picture, like that. With our last landscape, if you zoom in, it's very messy right here. To avoid that, I'm going to make sure I'm in this layer. I'm going to go to Image, Adjust, Threshold, and Threshold just turns it into black and white. If I increase the threshold, you can tell automatically that's too much. If I decrease it, that's not enough. I believe the threshold always defaults to 128, and that's just pretty good for what we want to do. Zoom out, magic wand, the black, and on the horizon line layer, I'm going to eyedropper this green, and with a big brush, fill that in. Nice. What I can do now in this layer is actually grab the burn tool, make sure it's really big. I can darken up some of these trees up at the top over and over again. That looks nice. And now this next step, I'm going to throw this layer away. I've got a horizon line full of trees, mountains, clouds, and a sun. I'm going to do a deer silhouette, and you can honestly do any silhouette that you want. I'm going to fill a new layer. I might just call this one foreground. Make that black. Can I find a deer silhouette? Oh my gosh, I like all of these. I'm only picking this because we are Deer Lake Middle School. Oh, no, I think I like this one. Edit, copy, edit, paste, edit, transform, scale, edit, adjust, threshold, OK. I can click on all the white. Oh no, it's on contiguous. Let me turn contiguous off. It did not select all my white areas. Contiguous off. Try that again. It selected all the white. Delete. Oh my gosh, that was so much easier than cutting that out on paper. The absolute last thing I want to do is make a new layer. I'm going to fill this whole thing black in a new layer. That's so important. A 6-inch guide and a 6-inch guide. I'm going to grab my pencil. No, I'm going to grab the eraser tool. I want to make sure that it's set to pencil. I want to make sure that it is a completely round brush. And one of the absolute last things I have to teach you, I want to make sure that this is really big, like that. If you hit caps locks, it turns every tool into a crosshair. If I put the crosshairs right here, it's dead center, click it, and boom. Perfect picture. Wasn't that a whole lot easier than when we did it in cutting paper, trying to cut a paper plate? All right, for those of you that want to do the night sky, watch this really quick. Layers off. View, guide, clear guides. If you are doing a night sky, let's go with a dark purple first. We're going to do everything I just did, but easier. Caps lock off, paint bucket tool. Boom. Soft brush. Big soft brush. There we go. I'm going to do my mountains the exact same way again. In fact, I'm kind of cheating. I'm just going to copy this layer, and I want it to be desaturated. It's almost a black and white picture. I think I want to adjust the color balance so it's mostly blue. I think I want to make it a little bit darker because it's night. I'm going to do the same thing with the clouds. Drag these up here. Oh, they should be behind my mountains. Image adjust. Desaturate. Image adjust. Make them really dark. And now in the night sky, I'm sorry I forgot to do this. I'm going to do the moon. New layer. Moon. White, copy that, just like our neon signs. Light blue, fill that in. Drag that underneath your moon copy. Filter, blur.
In the dark, it's bad for your eyes. Happy Monday. What's that? Right.
Okay, I don't know if you guys can tell, but I'm making that moon glow slowly. Filter, blur. Gaussian blur for my moon, but not as intense. There we go. Okay, merge visible to make a moon. Night sky, clouds, mountains. I can just copy the horizon line, drag that up here. Color balance, make these all blue. Oh yeah. That's actually going to make my silhouette really dark. Adjustments. I don't want that. I think I'm going to have to make a new layer. Switch the opacity down. Horizon line. Magic wand. Delete. Merge down. Now I can adjust the darkness on this layer. That's pretty good. There's my deer. There's my picture frame. Pencil tool. I think I want my moon. I'm always changing things up. Oops. With my nudge tool, I think I want my moon right here. Oh, kids, this is the terrible and wonderful thing about art. I always want to change things up. I'm not asking you to do this, but if I grab a light blue right here, brighten it, and drag it behind here. If I nudge this layer, what happens? Merge down. Oh my gosh, just to make life more difficult. You don't have to do this either, but stars. Here's a white, here's a brush tool, pencil. Lots of clicking. Copy that layer, grab a light blue. All my stars are blue now. Okay, the blue stars go under the white stars, blue stars, filter, Gaussian blur. White stars, not so much. Now my stars are glowing. I could even get blue stars. Those are way out there in outer space. Do a night landscape or a day landscape, save it as a JPEG, submit it to me in Canvas. I can't wait to see what you do. Bye.